Alrighty. Sorry for the abrupt, the abrupt stream, the abrupt intro. Let's go ahead and get this set up. I want to get some music in there too. I forgot to add that. 1 second. Welcome everyone. Hopefully you're doing okay. Hopefully you're all right. Let's see. All right, here we go. Welcome in, everyone. So good to see you all. Listen, we are officially 1 week away from the NFL 2024 to 2025 season. So I decided to go live. I do something every single year where I do my predictions. I have a lucky guess, which I usually do around draft time or before draft time. But then after, right about before the season starts, around preseason-ish, I will give my official predictions. So I have my lucky guess. That's a whole separate thing. That's more internally. I've been doing this for some time now. I think I've been doing the lucky guess for about 4 years, maybe 3 years now. And then maybe 3 or 2 for the official predictions. But I basically give my 2 sets of predictions for the NFL season every single year. And this time I decided to go live, take advantage of it. We have this channel here. We go deep. Welcome. This is your first time. Come on in. It's a great time here. Listen, this is not your typical stream that we do here. This is the first time of me just going live alone here in the studio, because I wanted to do this different style of prediction. But we usually have the boys on reacting, live reactions and hot takes to all of the football games, especially Thursday nights. We're going to be doing it this year. I know we started like kind of mid to late season last year, but we are officially starting season 2 next week. We're going to be live reacting to the Ravens at Chiefs game. And then every single Thursday game after that, minus what's it called? Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving Day games we will not be reacting to. However, we might go live for the Black Friday game. And then we'll probably go live for the playoff games as well. So super excited to be going live this full season with you guys, and excited to be doing this live stream. And hopefully, if you're watching live, hello. If you're watching back as the video, welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. Hit subscribe. Share this with someone who wants to make fun of me for these reactions. Because listen, I know that here at We Go Deep, we go footballs deep in hot takes, and I hope you're ready to receive it. Oh, we're gonna go all up inside. Oh, I hope you're ready to receive these deep hot takes for the predictions. And yeah, I wanted to make a video this time as opposed to what I usually do, just like have my predictions and send it in the group chat. I wanted to officially put it out there, and just so not only I'm held accountable, that this video exists, so that way you guys can let me know what you're thinking, what are your comments, which you could write down below, or also a way to like kind of see how I did, whether I got some right, some wrong. My prediction, let's see, my results for predictions when it comes to the official predictions, my total of all time is, let me see, my total of all time is 0.546. So I'm more than half correct every single year. And I'm super pumped about that. We're gonna see how well I do this year, and yeah. And this is like a little bit of like, I guess, a Tim the Tatman style video where he goes over all the records. We're gonna go over the records of all the teams and officially put it out there. Not only am I gonna say that, I'm also gonna say what the playoffs look like, who I think is going to win the Super Bowl, and what the draft order is for 2025. I was doing my research. I was looking into it. Looks like no team has lost their 2025 first round draft. No one has traded it away. Seems like everyone has it in place in order. I could be wrong. Let me double check. 2025 first round pick NFL traded. Let me see. Yeah, no. Everyone has their first round pick. There's some second round, third round, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh that are traded around to different areas. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a first round only. And that's the one that people care about the most. So we're going to go over the first round in just a second. I don't know why my eyes are watering up. It's just like I'm just so emotional. Ready to get this going, man. I'll lower the music a little bit more. Let me know if it's too loud. But we're here, and as in we, I mean me, and I'm live, and we're gonna get straight into it. So I don't know exactly where to start, so I think I'm just gonna go based off of what I see on my page. The way I have it is I have AFC in the left, NFC in the right, and then it's starting with the north, the south, the east, and then the west. So we're going to go through. We're going to go over our predictions. Oh, actually, hold up. I changed my mind. Here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to go over the 2025 first round draft order, and in return, I will then reveal what I believe is the record for each team. I think that's the best way to go about it. So let me go ahead and get that set up real quick. And boom, we are good to go. No, we're not. Hold up. 1 second. I gotta split into 3. There we go. There we go. There we go. Not that one. Oops. You're going here. Come on. Come on. I hate when they don't really agree with you. All right, cool. So this is the way it's going to go. We're going to go with the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 draft all the way up to number 32, I believe. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's the playoffs from 19 off on. So I'm going to make a little line there. That's going to be the playoff teams. And so, yeah, starting off with the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft of 2025, we are going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders. Listen, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But I think that the Raiders are going to be the worst team in the NFL this year. I don't have much confidence in Aiden O'Connell, let alone do I have confidence in Gardner Minshew to do too well. I mean, he did all right on the Colts when he had to take over, but I don't know. I think that they would prefer AOC to start over Gardner Minshew, and they just want him to start because he's like a cool guy, a good guy, and you know, you need more than that in a team. You already see, hints of, Devontae Adams. He wants to leave. Like, Tay wants to go. And I think he'll be traded to the Jets mid-season. I don't know exactly when the NFL trade deadline. Let me actually look that up. NFL trade deadline. The NFL trade deadline is Tuesday after week 9. So it went from week 8 to week 9. It was pushed back 1 week. And interestingly enough, I have them winning their week 9. So it is possible that they salvage a little something, that he takes off, and in that game they beat the Bengals, and he's able to have like a 2-touchdown game, maybe 175 yards with like 11 catches. And then he's like, listen, I can still go. Let me go. And then he's traded to the Jets or something. I could definitely see that being a possibility. He doesn't seem happy about being at the Raiders. And the Raiders, let me see. Let me also pull up the cheap cheat that I have to be able to know who their starters are. Let's see. Okay, so we have Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, who did pretty good on the Patriots and can be a good number 2. I think he's going to step up pretty well as a number 1 over Devontae, especially when Devontae leaves. And then they have Trey Tucker, Zamir White, who's pretty solid as a running back, Alexander Madison, who kind of solidified himself as a good number 2, but horrible number 1. And then they picked up Brock Bowers, who rookie tight end, trying to play with Gardner Minshew, trying to play with Aiden O'Connell. Honestly, isn't the best position, but you know, you just deal with what you have. So I have the Raiders going officially 4-13. I have them only beating 4 teams as I look through the schedule. I mean, they have to face the Chiefs twice. They have to face the Chargers twice, who has a new coach who is a winning coach, who doesn't know how to lose, per se. So, you know, going against them. And then against the Broncos, who, like, not the best position, good coach, maybe a decent quarterback. I believed in Bo Nix, and, like, you know, you could go back to when we reacted to the draft. I wanted Bo Nix. I liked Bo Nix, but only if we didn't, like, I didn't want him at 10. I wanted him at 23, or to trade back to the second round to pick him up then, because I don't think he is. It was worth the risk to draft him in the first round so high, but he ended up going 13th to the Broncos, so not too bad. But it's the Raiders. I don't have much confidence in the Raiders, especially with just like what I've seen on tape a little bit. But yeah, they have a pretty decent schedule, not the worst, but also not the best. Let me see the strength of schedule, NFL 2024. The Raiders are, like, yeah, they're on the better side of worse, where it's like not the worst of the worst, but still kind of tough schedule. So they're not in the top 5, but still pretty difficult compared to other teams. So I have the Raiders with the number 1 overall pick going 4-13. Next up, with the number 2 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, I have the Carolina Panthers. They're also going 4-13 here. Only reason why they had the tiebreaker is because I have a miracle win of the Panthers beating the Raiders. So that is the only reason why they go number 2 and not number 1. But yeah, I see the only wins that the Panthers getting are before the bye week, which is week 11. Just because, I don't know, the Panthers are a mess of an organization. They have been, and they still are. You know, going back several years with Sam Darnold and all the the emergency quarterbacks that they've had to bring in, and then they trade away the number 1 overall pick to the Bears to be able to go and pick up to pick up Bryce Young, and Bryce Young is not looking good at all. And I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he's had a year to improve, so it is possible that he has stepped up a little bit more. But just the schedule is a little rough for me. Panthers are on the easier side of the schedule, but even then, I don't see them winning too many, just because, you know, they have to face the Buccaneers twice, which not a strong team, but the wide receiver core does so much for theirs, especially with their running back as well, and it's just very difficult to go up against them. The Falcons now have a crazy defense, very strong, and a good quarterback in Kirk Cousins, as well as you know, some areas like the running back area that can really survive with Bijan Robinson and you know, all them boys there. And then Saints are usually in the middle of the pack, where they win games, they lose games, but they're still like pretty solid as a defense, as a team. Not the best quarterback, but yeah, the Panthers, I have them going 4-13 with the 2nd overall pick in the NFL draft. Excuse me. Now, next up, with the number 3 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, I have the Denver Broncos. And reason being is there's not much of a team there. I don't see much of a team there. Bo Nix is the starter, and I think he has a chance to shine, but I feel like the Broncos might let him down. He might not be the full best with what he has. He has Cortland Sutton, but he has a lot less receivers than he did before. He doesn't have Judy. He doesn't have I forgot who else, but They picked up Josh Reynolds, I guess a solid number 2 or number 3 from the Lions, but I don't feel that's enough. Yes, they have Marvin Jr., who could also step up. The running backs are really good with Javonte Williams, but I'm not too sure with Adam Trotman. I think was that a new pickup or something? Let me double check. Adam Troutman, who was a tight end, and yeah, I have no idea who that is. So not the best team surrounding Bo Nix, and yes, you have Sean Payton, but Sean Payton he's just wait, F the Saints, F Sean Payton. But no, it's just there's a lot of questions in Denver. So Denver Broncos going 5-12, 4 of them going before the bye week at 14, and then 1 coming back from the bye. Same thing with the Raiders. They have to face the Chargers twice, the Chiefs twice. They got to go against teams like they have to go against teams like the Bengals and the Ravens and, the Jets, who can be good this year. So it might not be the easiest schedule for them. With their strength and schedule, they are, let's see, where are they? They're right above the Raiders in difficulty, so kind of tough for them. But nonetheless, I see them with the number 3 overall pick in the NFL draft. I don't know if they go quarterback. Maybe they go wide receiver, because they're definitely needing some wide receivers there. But yeah, we will see. Next up, number 4 overall pick in the NFL 2025 draft is the New England Patriots. New England Patriots here also going 5-12. Most of these, it's not like the order isn't based off of head-to-head. It's more based off of, the tiebreakers that they typically do in the NFL. So Patriots here going 5-12 as well, with 4 wins before the bye week at 14, and then final win in the end. But New England Patriots here as well. Drake May has not the best situation to be put into. Another rookie quarterback here that is being thrown into a team that is very, very dry on wide receivers. We have the Patriots with Kendrick Bourne and Demario Douglas and Jalen Polk, who another rookie there to try to prove themselves. They still have Ramondre Stevenson. They picked up Antonio Gibson, and they have Hunter Henry, who does a good job. But even then, Drake May is not starting. It's going to be Jacoby Brissett, which very smart. I think is a good call. Make sure that the rookie has time to develop a little bit behind a quote-unquote veteran, Jacoby Brissett, who has been on, I think I'm pretty sure he started on the Chargers before he was stabbed in the lung and had to be replaced by Justin Herbert. So then he was moved over to different places. He's back in New England after being there a long time ago, and getting to know the system. It's easier to already get in there and also help train Drake May a little bit. But I don't think they do well this season. I think that they do develop well with their quarterback in Drake May and develop with their wide receivers. So it might be doom and gloom for this year, but next year I think the Patriots start to bring that towards an uptick. I think that it's a promising year for the Patriots with their rookies, and with number 4 overall pick, it's looking pretty good for the future as well. So pretty cool there. I like that. Number 4 overall pick. I think the Patriots here can pick up some defensive players, maybe a running back that would help solidify their run game. Ramondre Stevenson does good, but gets injured a lot. Antonio Gibson does well, but again, also gets injured at times. So they might need someone to help solidify that run game in the future, or definitely improve on their already strong defense. Maybe pick up an old lineman to protect Drake May. But yeah, number 4 overall pick goes to the New England Patriots. Number 5 overall pick, 2025 NFL draft, goes to the Chicago Bears. Now listen. I'm not saying that they're going to have a horrible record. According to my list, that's just where they fall. if I were to look at their record, I would say, oh, they're like in the 10-15 around there mark. But no, there are a lot of teams with the same win record, and I think it happens every single year where there's a lot of teams with the same win record, and you just gotta, wherever the cards are dealt, wherever the numbers fall, that's where they lie. So I have the Bears going 7-10, with their new rookies, all their new team. I think that they could do way more. I'm not going to lie. They are looking like a scary team. Caleb Williams is very good. That wide receiver core is deadly, especially if they develop well. And they picked up Swift as well. Solid running back. But I think that it's one place it does lack. I think that they could definitely get a running back here in the draft, especially at number 5 overall. I know it's a heavy draft with cornerbacks and D linemen, so they could also, beef up their defense there as well. But I have them going with 2 wins before the bye at week 7, and then 5 wins after towards the end. It's just a difficult schedule for the Bears. If you look at the strength, the Bears says 3rd easiest, but I don't believe that. I think that that's just based off of Vegas forecasted wins, because the Bears, they have to face the Lions twice. The Packers are no joke. The Vikings could be scary, but even then it's just indivisional, so who knows, maybe they'll split there. And then they go up against teams like the 49ers, the Rams, the Texans, teams like that are a lot stronger than what they're, the numbers might say. I truly believe that it's going to be very difficult. The Colts as well. It's going to be a tough team to go up against. And then they also fly to London before the bye week, in the home of the Jags, in Wembley Stadium, the home of AEW. But yeah, it's going to be a lot harder than expected, but 7-10 is not a bad record. I do have them, I guess, with all 4 of these. They're 4th in the division. Raiders 4th, Broncos 3rd, Patriots 4th in their division, Panthers 4th, and the Bears also 4th. But it's a close race here in the NFC North, at least for 2nd and 3rd, and 4th. It's just not the best schedule. I don't have full confidence in Caleb Williams. I think he might be overrated, but we'll see. He could ball out and be the next Patrick Mahomes, like everyone has been saying. But how many times have we heard, oh, this guy is the next Patrick Mahomes, and this guy's the next Tom Brady, this guy is going to be the guy, and then never pans out. I don't trust Matt Eberflus. I don't trust the Bears organization with a quarterback. We've seen time and time again of like, oh, this guy is the next Tom Brady, Mitch Trubisky. This guy is the next guy with, this guy and this guy. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. So 7-10, the Bears go with the 5th overall pick. Now with the 6th overall pick in the NFL draft, with a record of 7-10, I have the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are going to go 7-10. Same thing, just it's a tough schedule. They have a good stretch. I have them doing a good stretch here where they kind of start kind of rough, and then they end rough, but in the middle is just beautiful. They have teams to go against the the Eagles, the Cowboys. They're going up against the Ravens twice, the Bengals twice, the Steelers. They always end up at 50%, or like, what's it called, 500. So they face the Chiefs. They face just teams that are going to be a lot harder to face than normal. The Browns had a crazy run last year, and I think they were able to get into the playoffs. I don't see them getting into the playoffs here, and they have the 3rd hardest schedule. They're going in with Deshaun Watson, who ever since he sat in Houston, he has not performed well. Since he stopped getting those massages, he stopped performing well. So I just don't see the Browns having any success there. I think that the Browns would possibly draft a quarterback there. They have Let's see. The Browns have Jameis Winston as a backup, who honestly, I would take Jameis Winston over Deshaun Watson right now. Deshaun Watson runs better, but Jameis, I think, throws better. Yes, he gets some more interceptions, but still throws better. Mari Cooper's a solid guy. Jerry Jeudy, they just picked up from the Broncos, as well as Elijah Moore. It's a pretty solid wide receiver group. Nick Chubb is a beast. Jerome Ford steps up when he has to. And, of course, David Njoku is still a good tight end. But I don't think it's enough to be able to, do better than it's 7-10. And even then, 7-10 might be generous to some people, especially with the difficulty of their schedule. So, Browns, 7-10. Next up, with the 7th overall pick in the 2025 draft. Oh, also the Browns go 4th in their division. Next, in the 7th overall pick NFL 2025 draft, 4th in the division in the AFC South, it is the Tennessee Titans. I don't have a lot of confidence in the Titans. I don't know what it is. It's just ever since even a couple years ago, I doubted the Titans, and we saw the decline that they had. They lost Derrick Henry to the Ravens, which is a huge hit. Yes, they picked up Tony Pollard, but even then, Tony Pollard, it could just be the fact that it was the Cowboys. Yes, it's consistent. Tony Pollard is a good running back. He's beautiful when it comes to, stats and fantasy. But Tony Pollard is not Derrick Henry, especially peak Derrick Henry. So it's going to be difficult to fit into that slot. Titans, they have Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Boyd. So their wide receivers are very good. Will Levis, we need to see how Will Levis starts. He is set up for greatness here with a great room, but he needs to take full advantage of it. Excuse me. Will Levis was drafted, second round? He was drafted, let me see. Second round in the 2023 draft, and he started a little late last season. So I think that I'm not saying that he's going to lose his job to Mason Rudolph, but I think that the Titans are going to be kind of tough to be able to do anything better than a 7-10. Titans over here with the 6th worst schedule, so it's going to be kind of difficult to be able to overcome some of these things. They face teams like the Bengals, teams like the Texans twice. They face the Jaguars twice, Colts twice, which is looking like a better team than years prior. Facing the Bills, facing the Lions, the Packers, the Bears. So it's going to be very difficult for the Titans to do better than 7-10 here. But yeah, I have them with 3 wins before the bye and 4 wins after the bye, which is week 5. So with the 7th overall pick, the Tennessee Titans, honestly, I think they continue to build their O-line. Maybe they go on their defense. I honestly don't know too much about the Titans, to be frank. Just looking at what they have, maybe they could go with a better tight end besides Okonkwo, but I mean, they aren't in a major need of a tight end. They could always go for maybe another wide receiver, because I think Calvin Ridley's still on 1 year. This might be DeAndre Hopkins last year on the Titans, so they could go wide receiver to help solidify that room and lock it in for the future. But Tennessee Titans, number 7 overall pick. Now, with the number 8 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, going 3rd in their division, the NFC North, it is the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. I support the Minnesota Vikings. I actually have high hopes for the season this year. I'm not a huge fan of Sam Darnold, but I am hyped that he's there to be able to take charge. He is in the perfect position. I am sad that J.J. McCarthy is not going to be playing this year. He was not going to start in the beginning. Despite what people are saying, I don't think that he was going to start. I think the earliest J.J. McCarthy would have started would be after the bye week. That's just my opinion. But Sam Darnold is the quarterback. I know that we have Nick Mullins as our backup, and we just it's sad because I had I like Jaren Hall, and he shined well before he got concussed last year, and then he shined very well in the preseason. We have waived him. We're trying to keep him on the practice squad. We'll see if he survives the waivers. But we did pick up Matt Rippon. I haven't seen a lot of Matt Rippon to say anything, but even then, it's just in case of emergency type. But the Minnesota Vikings are going to go 8-9. It's a very tough schedule. It's the 5th toughest in the NFL. But a lot of people are sleeping on the Vikings. We are, I believe, underdogs in all of our matchups when it comes to the, Vegas. That we're going to lose to every single team that we go and go 0-17. But I don't believe we go 0-17. I don't believe we go 5-12. I think we do better than a lot of people have expected. We have a 6.5 win. What is it, over under in Vegas? I say hit the over. Going 8-9 is pretty decent with the Vikings, especially with the people that we have. Let me confirm, because I heard a rumor that Jordan Addison would have been suspended for 5 games, but I only heard it from this page called NFC North News. And yeah, they haven't. The NFL itself has not announced anything on the suspension or ruling. So it was like breaking news. The NFL has announced the Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison will be suspended 6 games this season after being arrested for DUI back in July. But the NFL hasn't announced any of that, and they haven't said any of that. So I don't think, and even then, I think it would be in 2025. I don't think the suspension would be this year, especially now that we're a week away and they haven't announced anything. So, but with the wide receivers that we have, we picked up Aaron Jones after losing Alexander Madison. We have Ty Chandler, and it's looking good. The defensive players that we picked up, not only in the draft but in free agency. Yes, we lost Daniil Hunter, which is a huge piece, but we were able to gain 3 outside linebackers in his place. So switch Hunter for Dallas Turner, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Jordan Grenard. That's a great trade in my book. And then we were able to pick up good defensive linemen with Levi Drake Rodriguez, and we had some undrafted free agents as well that were added to the team, like Dwight McLaughlin and Taki Taimani. And even then, we have him on our practice squad, Bo Richter. I believe that he's going to eventually be signed to the 53-man later in the season as an outside linebacker, just because of how well he does. But I truly believe that the defense has improved, and a lot of people are sleeping on the Vikings. But even then, we pick 8th. It's going to be a tough year. I think a lot of teams are winning teams this year, and it's very difficult to fight that. It's going to be a crazy, crazy NFL season. So with the number 8 overall pick, I could see us going cornerback. I could see us going defensive lineman. It all depends. Right now we have Stephon Gilmore, Byron Murphy, and Shaq Griffin. Mekhi Blackman was very promising, but he was out with the ACL. I could see him coming back and showing off. I could see Dwight McLaughlin stepping up. And maybe we get a 3rd guy in there. If we lose Murphy or Griffin or Gilmore, they don't re-sign. That'll be a good pickup. If not, we go D lineman. I think we're doing pretty fine now, but the guys that we do have are a little old with Jonathan Bullard and forgot the other guy's name. Vikings depth. It's our nose tackle. Where is your name, dude? Harrison Phillips. And so I could see Taki Taimani stepping up in there, or just picking up another guy. Jerry Tillery right now questionable, but Levi Drake can step in that position, and we have a lot of good players that can really help out that D line. But yeah, I see us going cornerback or D line with the number 8 overall pick in the 2025 draft. With the number 9 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, we are going to the number 4 in the NFC East. It's a close one. It's a close one, and it's not what you think. It is the Dallas Cowboys. Listen, I have the Dallas Cowboys going 8-9. Yes, that means that they are below the Giants, but they're not too far away. I'm going to say it. It is a very close race in the NFC East. It is anyone's game, but I do not see another repeat of the NFC East champions. Or, not, is it champions? Yeah, I guess. Whoever runs the East is not going to be a repeat. It's going to continue on with that streak. I see the Cowboys going 8-9. I have low hopes for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott shows up every now and then, shows up greatly in the actual season, but not well in the postseason. That's if he stays healthy. That's if he doesn't get injured, because they don't really have a backup. Their backup that they have listed here is Cooper Rush, who is all right, but even then, this might not even be updated. So they have a tough schedule ahead of them. They have one of the hardest schedules. It is behind the Raiders and the Bills, but still 22, basically like top 10 worst schedule. And it's just very difficult for them to overcome with all their issues. They lost, Tony Pollard, and they got back Ezekiel Elliott, and they have Deuce Vaughn. They picked up Dalvin Cook in the what's it called for the practice squad, but I don't think that they're gonna be able to fill the hole that Pollard had. Zeke is a shell of his former self, and let's see, we have CeeDee Lamb who has, I believe, gotten paid. Yeah, he got paid the other day. Wasn't CeeDee Lamb? Did he? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb was paid 4 years, $136 million. We have Brandon Cooks. We have Jalen Tolbert. Excuse me. Jake Ferguson at tight end. But I don't know. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. I don't have a lot of confidence in the coach. I'm drawing a blank. Mike McCarthy, right? No. Yeah, Mike McCarthy. I don't have a lot of confidence in him. He was kicked out of the Packers for the reason, and I don't think he's doing anything good for the Cowboys. Yes, they might have a winning record every now and then, or mostly, but that means nothing if they lose in the playoffs, and they're looking pretty bad in the playoffs. And then they picked up Zimmer as their defensive coach. We'll see how they do. They picked up a lot of former Vikings that played with Zimmer, so we will see what's up. Wino Nodi, catch me up. What up, Reepsy? I have no idea why I didn't notify you. I was notified on my phone. We are currently we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, who are going to go 8-9, fourth in their division. We have we're on number 9 of the 2025 draft. So Las Vegas Raiders with the number 1 overall, Carolina Panthers with number 2, Denver Broncos at number 3, New England Patriots at number 4, Chicago Bears at number 5, Cleveland Browns at 6, Tennessee Titans at 7, Minnesota Vikings at 8, and Dallas Cowboys at number 9 overall pick. That's where we currently are. So yeah, I don't see the Cowboys doing too well. They faced the Eagles twice. They faced the Ravens, they faced the Lions, the Niners, the Texans, the Falcons. Teams that are going to be a little tough to go up against. The Bengals. And so it's just going to be difficult for them to do better than 8-9, in my opinion. I have them going 3 wins before the bye week at week 7, and then 5 wins post the bye week. And yeah, I don't know who they pick up here. Honestly, it is the last year of Dak's contract, so maybe they go quarterback if they want to go crazy and don't re-sign Dak, and then they just pick up a rookie quarterback, which right here there should be a lot of availability because there's not many teams that will be picking one up. Maybe the Browns pick one up. Maybe the Browns pick one up. Cowboys for sure could go with one. And then they already paid the wide receiver for 4 years, so that gives them more leeway to pay their other team players that need to be paid. But yeah, Cowboys 8-9. Now, with the number 10 overall pick in the NFL draft, is going to be number 3 in their division, going 8-9. It is the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints. Is that how you spell New Orleans? No, it's New Orleans. New Orleans. How do you spell that looks weird. Orleans looks weird. Is the New Orleans Saints. I think they go with the quarterback here. Just saying, I don't think the Derek Carr experiment works. They could be a team that picks up a Sam Darnold or picks up someone like a Gardner Minshew to continue to, patch a Band-Aid in this area. But Derek Carr was not the Band-Aid they needed. They were bleeding very quickly. Saints continue to live because of their key players. Their Chris Olave, their Alvin Kamara, those key players there, and then the defense, which is kind of strong. It's very tough for them to do better than 8-9 here. I have them with 5 wins before the bye week at week 12, and then 3 to end the season. They're just facing teams like the Packers, the Commanders, the Raiders. The Rams, the Falcons twice, the Eagles, Cowboys, Chiefs, etc., etc. It's very tough for the Saints schedule here. Let me see. Saints schedule is surprisingly in the top 5 of best, because I do see it just because on paper, they're facing the Giants, the Panthers, not the best division where they face the Panthers twice, the Buccaneers, Falcons twice, but I think on paper it's going to look a lot different than actually what the results are. So with the number 10 overall pick of the 2025 NFL draft, the New Orleans Saints probably pick up a quarterback unless they try to get another Band-Aid. Then I think that they go with another wide receiver to help out Chris Olave. Rashid Shaheed is pretty decent. He does good on the kick returns, but he needs more help than just that. And then, or maybe a running back if they don't have much faith in Kendre Miller, who they picked up last year, I believe. So, number 10 overall pick goes to the New Orleans Saints. Now, number 11 overall pick. This belongs to the AFC North. It is going to be number 3 in their division. With the number 11 pick, it goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, as per usual, Mike Tomlin always goes 500, around 500. It's a lot harder to hit 500 this year just because it is 17 games, which started, I believe, 2 years ago or 3 years ago now. I don't know. It was a little while ago. So it is harder to hit 500. I have them going 8-9 here. 4 wins before the bye week, 4 wins after, so perfectly split down the middle. It's just very tough going up against, Bengals, Ravens, Browns in your division. Also facing the Chiefs, the Eagles, and Cowboys. Teams like the Colts, the Chargers can also be kind of dangerous, as well as the Falcons. But it's just very tough. Steelers haven't done much to really improve. They got a better quarterback in Russell Wilson, who was announced the starter. They also have a decent backup with Justin Fields, but we'll see exactly how well that dynamic works. George Pickens is good, but then they have Van Jefferson, who was number 3, number 4 on the Rams, and Roman Wilson, who is a question mark. I think Roman Wilson will do good. He might be a low-key pick pick to get on fantasy. Roman Wilson might do pretty decent on the Steelers, but Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, again, as a running back, not the best running back team. I think that low-key they might send in Justin Fields more to run a little bit. If the rumors are true of him doing some punt returns or kick returns, I can see them throwing him in at running back every now and then. And then Pat Freiermuth is a very, very well tight end here, but I don't know. I see them winning mostly just because of the coach, not necessarily off of the pieces there. there's not many, the defense is always good, always shines, but when it comes to the offense, there's nothing too much to write home about. If Russell Wilson was this goat of a quarterback, he would have shined well in Broncos when he had the chance. But that's just my opinion. And I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. So with the number 10 overall pick, with the number 11 overall pick, I could see the Pittsburgh Steelers picking up a running back because they are in dire need of one. It all depends on how strong the running back, room is, or I guess the picks for running back are in this draft. I'm not like I said, I have no knowledge of that. So with the number 12 overall pick, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be number 3 over, like the third best, number 3 in the AFC South. So both there's 2 teams ahead of them. Jaguars also going 8-9. Like I said, there's a lot of teams here that are going 8-9. That's what makes it very difficult to go from 8 to I think 14 here, maybe 15. Yeah, maybe 6. No, not 16. 15. So from pick 8 to pick 14, it could go any way. It all depends on tiebreakers, but yeah, 8 and 9 goes the Jaguars. I have them with 4 wins before the bye week at week 12, and then 4 wins to end the season. I think things are going to go crazy at the end of the season. That is why they might make some changes in certain areas. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is the GOAT, the great quarterback that they had been touting. I think he is a little bit overrated. I don't have much faith in him, but he can show up when needed. But I think that they do need to improve in at least a couple of areas. The Jaguars, they have Mac Jones as the backup. Trevor Lawrence has nothing to worry about Mac Jones starting. But they have Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas Jr. They picked up Brian Thomas Jr. In the draft. Gabe Davis from the Bills, and then Christian Kirk is still there. But they did lose Calvin Ridley, and so they have some questions there at wide receiver. Gabe Davis can show up and be number 1. Brian Thomas, we don't know. We can see how well he does. But they have Travis Etienne, who is a great running back. They have Tank Bigsby. And then Evan Ingram, they're low-key wide receiver as well. So I have the Jaguars just going 8 and 9. Pretty decent. Not the best. Jaguars, let's see their strength schedule. Jaguars are right down the middle. So number 14 when it comes to hardest or easiest, I should say, schedule based on Vegas forecast. So sorry, throat itches. So I have the Jaguars going with the number 12 overall pick. Honestly, I said it all depends on how desperate they are at wide receiver. They could go wide receiver here. They could go O-line, or they could just go defense. All depends on what they need most. Number 13, Burger King foot fungus. Foot lettuce or whatever. Number 13, we have in the NFC East, going number 3 in their division, also tied with the Cowboys at 8 and 9, is the New York Giants. Giants are picking 13th here. We have it's just tough. They have a bye week 11. They go to Germany. They have going up against teams like the Eagles twice, the Cowboys twice, the Commanders, which is a new team this year. And then they face the Ravens, the Colts, the Falcons. And it's just not going to be easy for them. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for them to do better than 8 and 9. I was talking with a Giants fan on Monday, Caleb, and he said that they don't get more than 6 wins, but I see them with 8. It is possible that they get less. I've been wrong before. I'm going to be wrong again. But I had them with the number 13 overall pick. I don't know if they go, I think they finally pull the trigger on quarterback, but at this point, they might have to trade up for a decent quarterback because they would be maybe 4th, or 5th quarterback down the line. Or they can pick up somebody like a Sam Darnold. I don't think they continue to go on with Daniel Jones. I think they could also go running back as well, or pick up a free agent running back to really replace truly Saquon. With the loss of Saquon, it is a big hit. They picked up Malik Neighbors, which is a good pickup for them. And then they have Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson to be able to solidify. They have a really young wide receiver room, so that's good. But they need a quarterback to throw to them. I think Drew Lock ends up taking the job over Daniel Jones, and low-key he could shine from there, so the number could go up as well. But Daniel Jones is not the guy. He's not the guy. Devin Singletary is decent, but he didn't do much on the Bills. He's not going to do much on the Giants. So who knows? Maybe they just stick with Drew Lock and they pick a running back here. So number 14 overall pick in the NFL draft of 2025 goes to NFC South with the, what is it called? Second in their division. It goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, also tied at 8-9. So this is NFC South. So NFC South is going to be the worst division still in the league. And so I'm going to spoil a little bit. The Falcons are also going 8-9. So I have the Saints, the Falcons, and the Buccaneers all at 8-9, with the Panthers being the only team that is different at 4-13. Buccaneers here again. Kind of mid-team. I have them with 3 wins before the bye, so maybe at the bye they make some decent changes, and then they have 5 wins after the bye. I don't know what they would change on the Buccaneers. Maybe they would change their coach. Maybe they'd change some players here and there, but I don't know how many times we're going to see such good play from Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Mike Evans, every single year since he started in the league, has gotten over 1,000 yards, and who knows, with Baker Mayfield, they could continue on that streak, but it might be a matter of time till things change. Maybe they switch things up and they trade one of them off for better draft value at the end of the season, and that's why it's a new mindset, and so they get those 5 wins. But it's just a tough schedule up front. Before the bye week, they have to face the Lions, the Eagles, the Falcons, the Falcons twice, the Saints in the division, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Niners. It's just very difficult for them to get a couple of wins here, more than 3. So, maybe they could get 4 or 5, but even then, I see them with 3 before the bye week and then 5 after the bye week. So, 8-9 is their record, number 14 overall pick in the NFL draft. Now, we have at the 15th overall pick. So now we're going to start to see the positive teams. And it's crazy that we got to 14 and all of them were 8-9. We're finally getting to the positives. This is, this is still the same thing. I didn't realize that. Number 15, still a little bit negative, is going to be the number 4 of the NFC West, and it is the Seattle Seahawks going 8-9. Listen, the Geno Smith hype train is eventually going to fall, and I predict it's going to fall this year. It's not going to fall by much. It's only going to be 8-9, but Geno Smith can only do so well for so long. I think Sam Howell does step up. Sam Howell is a good quarterback in my book. They have DK Metcalf, they have Tyler Lockett, they have Jackson Smith and Jigba, JSN. Kenneth Walker's very good, and I think that with that team, it's going to set up pretty well for Sam Howell, but Geno Smith will have kind of a rough start. Out of the first 9 games before their bye week at week 10, I have them winning 4 of them. It's tough going against the Dolphins, the Lions, the Niners, the Bills, the Rams. It's going to be a little difficult. And then I have them with 4 wins after the bye. So maybe around week 13, they start to put in or even at the bye week, they decide to go in with Sam Howell instead of Geno Smith, or it's just a matter of time till Geno Smith regresses, and then Sam Howell is given the keys to the kingdom. I could see them sticking with Sam Howell another year, just like how they did with Geno for a couple of years. So I don't see them trying to trade up for a quarterback, because number 15 is kind of tough to pick up a quarterback here. So honestly, they would probably pick up like a tight end, or someone on the defense, or wherever key pieces that they need. But Seahawks going fourth in their division, 8-9, number 15 overall pick. Number 16, I have all the way in the AFC East, number 3, but technically tied for first. Yes, I have another three-way tie for first in this division. The AFC East is going to be the Miami Dolphins. So Miami Dolphins here just outside of the playoffs. They do go positive 9-8, but unfortunately is not enough to make the playoffs here. They have a bye week, week 6. Start off 2-3, which is not the best, but then they end off with those extra 7 wins. That's where it gets them to 9-8. Pretty middle of the pack. I like the Dolphins. I'm not I guess I'm a good supporter of Tua. Like, I feel like Tua does get a lot of unnecessary flack, but he does have good weapons to throw to. It is a fast room, with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. You have Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, who they go crazy when it comes to speed. They are slowed down a little bit with their newest pickup, Odell Beckham Jr., but OBJ doesn't join a team to lose. OBJ goes to win. Unfortunately, they do fall out of the playoff picture here, but that's still a good veteran wide receiver to help the future, set them up for something special, possibly to be able to look into 2025 and go for a run. But I have them going with the number 16 overall pick, and I'm not gonna to be completely honest, from this point on, I'm not gonna know like who they need to pick up in the draft, so I'm not gonna say it. So number 16 overall pick goes to the Miami Dolphins. Number 17, number 2 in their division, goes to, in the NFC North, the Green Bay mother-loving Packers. Shout out to Tom Crosby. I have the Packers going 9-8. That's 4 wins before the bye week at week 10, and then 5 wins after the bye week. It is not an easy schedule for the Packers by the looks of it. Packers right here have the number 19th best, so yeah, 19th best. So like right middle of the pack, but still difficult. They go to Brazil to face the Eagles right off on week 1. They face the Lions twice. They always struggle sometimes with the Vikings and the Bears. So they have those games to worry about. They face the Niners, the Dolphins, the Texans, the Colts, the Rams. So teams like that aren't going to make it easy. But 9-8, we have Jordan Love, who's the most paid quarterback, or the most paid player in all time, which honestly I don't think he deserved it. But hey, good for him. They have the money to be able to pay him, just because they have a hell of a lot of young wide receivers. They picked up a great running back. They just need to make sure they use him. So they picked up Josh Jacobs. A.J. Dillon is going to be out for the season, so let me update that there. They have Josh Jacobs at running back 1. They just need to use him correctly. What they didn't do too much with Aaron Jones was use him correctly. And so if they decide, all right, we got to start running the game, start the run game strong and powerful, then they go with Josh Jacobs to make sure that things run smoothly. But if not, they're pretty still in a decent shape with their wide receiver rooms. Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Jalen Reed. You have just so many dudes that just showed up out of nowhere. Let me see. Packers. Excuse me. Depth chart. Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Jalen Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Malik Heath, Bo Melton. Those guys don't know too much, but they have Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave, like 2 Titans they picked up last season. So they have a lot of weapons to throw to, a lot of weapons to use. Jordan Love is a guy. I think he's pretty good. He can continue to show off, though, but he needs to step up and prove it this year. This is the year that he has a lot of eyes on you. Hey, you are paid the most. We're going to watch you to see if, 1, it was worth it, and 2, if you're going to be a guy in the long future. I'm not saying to get rid of him next year or this year, maybe like 2-3 years if he's not the guy. But Packers go 9-8, just outside the playoffs at 17 overall pick. And then lastly, outside of the playoffs is the Indianapolis Colts. They're drafting number 18. They are here at number 2 in their division. They are going to go, they have a bye week 14, so I only have them with 1 win after the bye week, but they do have 8 wins before the bye week, starting off pretty strong. It's just difficult to be able to get into the playoffs just because there's so many strong teams, minus 1, which is just there automatically just because they have to. But there's just so many teams here that are very well, especially in the AFC. So it's going to be difficult for them to get into the playoffs. They are over 500, so they have the ability to do well. They could win more of those games. It all depends on how well Anthony Richardson does back from injury. I know that they had lost their other wide receiver, I think, right? It was, let's see. Yeah, Josh Downs was lost. Michael Pittman Jr. is still very good. They picked up Joe Flacco as a good backup, so if Anthony Richardson does go out, Joe Flacco can step up. They did also draft Adonai Mitchell, so very good timing to pick up a wide receiver, especially losing Josh Downs. Jonathan Taylor, if he can continue to step up like he has year after year, he can continue to show up. If not, it's up to Trey Sermon, who might not be the best. But still, there's a lot of hope in Indianapolis, and I hope for the best for them. But I have them just outside of the playoff picture at 9-8 with the number 18 overall pick in the NFL draft. Which brings me to the playoff picture. The reason why I'm pausing here is because the next, it's 14 picks will spoil the playoff picture. So let's go ahead and review exactly who I have here in the remaining here, still in the playoff picture. In no particular order besides what I see on the screen. We have the Bengals, we have the Ravens, we have the Texans, we have the Bills, we have the Jets, we have the Chiefs, the Chargers, we have the Lions, we have the Falcons, the Eagles, we have the Commanders, we have the Niners, the Rams. All those are still in the playoff. So all those teams made it to the playoffs. They have the playoff picture right ahead of them, and I will go over exactly who I believe is going to win in those. So that will also reveal little by little. This is how I have it on the standings, and I'll go over their record before I go over what the draft pick is. So on the AFC side, I have at number 7, the number 7 seed in the playoffs in 2025 goes to the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills going 9-8. I don't see the Bills doing as well as they did before, but they did enough to make it to the playoffs, so good for them. They lost Stephon Diggs. I think they lost some players in defense. I've been corrected by Gio on the Bills that, who did we lose? You did lose some people. They also lost Gabe Davis on the wide receiver side, so they're running with Khalil Shakir at number 1, Keon Coleman Number 2, Curtis Samuel as well, which is a good pickup. Curtis Samuel was decent on the Commanders, so good pickup for the Bills there. Backup Mitch Trubisky, I think, is injured, so obviously they're going with Josh Allen. James Cook, great running back. Dalton Kincaid, great tight end. I think they're going to rely a lot on Khalil Cook and Kincaid to help pull them to the playoffs. So they make it to the playoffs. They go 9-8 at the number 7 seed. I will reveal their draft pick later because that will spoil whether they win or lose. So then we have the 6th seed in the NFL 2024-2025 season is going to be number 6 from the AFC North. It is the Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals with the number 6 overall seed, also with 9-8. So 9 wins, 9-8. I have them with 5 wins before the bye, 4 wins after the bye, week 12 bye. It is going to be a interesting season with all the talks of, T. Higgins wanting to be traded and all the rumors about Jamar Chase not playing despite having 2 more years on his contract. And he's just, I don't know. I think that's kind of stupid. Like, I'm not going to play a single down until I get a new contract, but you're still under contract for 2 more years. I think it's really dumb, and it's a dangerous game, to say the least. But if Joe Burrow can stay healthy, that is the main point here, then they can make it to the playoffs. If Joe Burrow is injured again or cannot come back from injury well, then I think it is over for the Bengals. They might have to do another little reset. They might lose Chase. They might lose Higgins. They already lost Tyler Boyd, and so they have Jermaine Burton, I believe, was drafted, right? Yeah, Jermaine Burton was drafted to their team. They have Zach Moss now at running back, who was losing Joe Mixon is a loss. Zach Moss did decent on the Colts, but wasn't enough. I don't know. Then they have Chase Brown and Mike Gesicki. Gesicki is a reliable tight end, but not anyone to write home to mama about. So, but I do have them making it 9-8 with the 6th overall seed. Now, here's where we have some controversy. We have some controversy here. At number 5, the number 5 seed in the AFC with a record of 11-6, the Kansas City Chiefs. I have them tied with the Chargers for the division, but due to tiebreakers, the Chargers win over the Chiefs. And so the Chiefs go 11-6. That's 3 wins before a week 6 bye week. That is 8 wins after the bye week. And it is going to be a great season for them. Yes, their wide receiver room has a lot of questions, but they don't care. They lost Hollywood Brown for the season. They have Rashee Rice, who he's a speedy boy, I'll tell you that. And then you have Xavier Worthy, another fast wide receiver there. They finally dropped the dead weight in Kadarius Toney, so they are ready to go with that. Pacheco's back, CEH is back, and then they have Kelsey, of course. They have every possibility to step forward, and they have a Super Bowl winning backup quarterback as well in Carson Wentz to be able to help, I guess, give extra tips to be able to push them even further. They have a tough schedule ahead of them. They are, Chiefs have a tough schedule, but still in the green. They face teams like the Niners, the Bengals, the Ravens. They face the Chargers twice. They face the Texans. And it's going to be an easier schedule, but still, like any given week, any team can win. But I have them just tied with the Chargers, but losing the tiebreaker to be the number 5th seed. Number 4 seed of the AFC goes to the New York Jets. Jets with a record of 9-8. This is another one of those that I hate. Like, well, the Chiefs have a better record, but they're number 5. as opposed to being higher up on the board. It's just one that you have to lock in just because each division needs one. So leading the division is the New York Jets. This is only if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. If Aaron Rodgers does not stay healthy, then they can drop severely. Their backup is Tyrod Taylor, who I'm just remembering now. That's the guy that was stabbed by the doctor, and Justin Herbert had to step in, not Jacoby Brissett. My bad. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers needs to stay healthy for this to happen because they have Garrett Wilson, who is really good. Mike Williams, great pickup from the Chargers. Xavier Gibson showing up from last year. So Breece Hall, one of the greatest running backs right now playing the game. And so they have the ability to step up, but it all depends on if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy because they are not looking the best if they do not have Aaron Rodgers healthy. I have them with 6 wins before their bye week, week 12, and then 3 after. But it's just enough to get them into the playoffs at the 4th seed. Number 3 seed of the AFC is going to go to the AFC South, and that is the Houston Texans with a record of 10-7. 10-7. I think the Texans are a great team. They looked beautiful last year. CJ Stroud stepping in and looking like a natural. Not only did he have weapons in Nico Collins and Tank Dell, but he was able to just prove that he was a good quarterback and should have went 1 overall over Bryce Young. But they were able to help surround him with even more players. They stepped up on wide receiver 1 or wherever he ends up falling. Stephon Diggs is now on the team, which in the long haul might be a little dangerous because he is a drama queen. I'm saying this as a Vikings fan. I'm saying this as a witness to a fan of a Bills team. Stephon Diggs is a bit of a toxic environment guy. Wherever he goes, he brings drama. But as long as they stay out of the drama, then they should be fine in the wide receiver room. They also got Joe Mixon to overtake Dameon Pierce at running back position, and Dalton Schultz still a decent tight end coming over from Cowboys last year. So Texans are set up for a great position to be able to go into the playoffs, despite having the 7th hardest schedule in the NFL. I think they could prove themselves and step up. You know, they're facing teams like the Bills, teams like the Packers, the Colts, teams like the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Dolphins. And so it's going to be not the easiest, but I think that they'll be able to prove themselves like they did last year. So Texans with the number 3, which brings us to number 2. The AFC West goes to the tie-breaking LA Chargers. LA Chargers with the number 2 overall seed. Well, number 2 seed of the AFC. I have them here going 11-6. So they have a bye week, week 5. They have 3 wins before, and then they have 8 wins after the bye week. So pretty good team. Only reason I say this, like, I could be completely wrong. I've been wrong before, and I'm going to be wrong again. Justin Herbert is a good quarterback. Not the best in my opinion. I think he is overhyped when it comes to people talking about good quarterbacks. They don't really have a wide receiver room. I think from what I heard, Ladd McConkey, the rookie that they did pick up, has one wide receiver 1 spot over Joshua Palmer and way over Quentin Johnston. But I still think with a team like any team that has a Harbaugh is a winning team. Harbaugh just won Michigan their championship, and he's a winning coach, so he's gonna bring that winning mentality to the Chargers and somehow pull off the upset over the Chiefs in taking the division. We have Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins moving over, taking a road trip from Baltimore to join their running back room. And I do believe that they're going to be able to just prove themselves as a decent team to do well without any notable wide receivers. So maybe Ladd McConkey does show up and make himself known in the league. And so I have them number 2. Which means number 1 seed in the AFC getting a bye goes to the Baltimore Ravens at 13-4. I have them with 3 wins after the bye week in week 14, and I have them with 10 wins before. Only 3 losses before the bye week and 1 loss after. Ravens proved themselves last year as a dominant team. Lamar Jackson proving why they needed to pay him, and they did step up. They were able to demolish their running back room by adding Derrick Henry. So that is a big spot. Not that they needed help at running back, just all their running backs always got injured. It was unfortunate, but they were able to pick up a solid running back there. They have Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and Nelson Aguilar. So not the most notable wide receiver room, but they do have a lot to shine. With Lamar and Derrick Henry, they don't need to throw all the time, but still with great receivers like Zay Flowers, even Rashad Bateman can show up sometimes. It's a good, solid room there. I have them with 13-4 wins. I only have them losing to the Cowboys, the Bengals, the Steelers on a win in Pittsburgh, just because in division, and like an upset victory over the Giants. Upset loss with the Giants. But that is going to be that's the playoff picture for the AFC. So number 1, Ravens. Number 2, Chargers. Number 3, Texans. Number 4, Jets. Number 5, Chiefs. Number 6, Bengals. And number 7, Bills, which means our wild card round looks like this. Bills at Chargers, Bengals at Texans, and Chiefs at Jets. Now, in this matchup, I think that the Chargers beat the Bills, even though Bills have a better chance of beating the Chargers. I just think that with the winning mentality of Harbaugh, that imagine him not only winning the division, but winning the first round, like his first win in the playoffs. A lot of high hopes for Chargers, like, oh my God, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. A lot of momentum there. Bills, like I said, have been on a downtrodden. Like if their defense stays healthy as well, then they have a better chance, but they don't have many wide receivers. We'll see how well they do. But I do have the Chargers going on to the divisional round. I have the Texans also beating the Bengals, just because the Texans have been so dominant, and they're going to continue to be dominant, especially with Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon as the pickups. And then I have an easy win, Chiefs over the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, Jets are going to, stumble into the playoffs, but they will not. I don't think they're going to survive the playoffs, just because Aaron Rodgers, I feel like, he's going to be good as a quarterback, as he usually is, but I think that there's going to be too much drama in the locker room for them to focus on winning. So I have them losing, which brings us to the divisional round. Chiefs at Ravens, Texans at Chargers. Give me the Chiefs. Give me the Texans. It's an easy win over the Chargers for the Texans. Both Harbaughs here losing. Chiefs at Ravens. It's tough to beat the reigning, defending, undisputed 2-time Super Bowl champions, but it's something that in the AFC Championship that I believe the Texans will do. I have the Texans beating the Chiefs not only in season, but also at the AFC Championship, bringing them to the Super Bowl, just to crush the dreams of a three-peat, just to crush the dreams of everyone there, and to really solidify themselves that, hey, we're that team. We're the team of AFC. Not necessarily year after year, but this is their year to prove themselves as, at least for 1 year, the team of the AFC. So I have the Houston Texans going to the Super Bowl. Now, voice crack. This is how the standings lead for all of them. Okay? So we know that since the Texans are going to the Super Bowl, they're either going to be number 31 or number 32 overall pick in the NFL draft. So we're going to talk about the other ones. The Bills end up number 23 overall. We have the Bengals with number 20 overall. We have the Jets with number 22 overall pick. We have the Chargers at 27. the Ravens at 28, and the Chiefs at 29. And so that's what their picks are in the NFL draft in 2025. Now, lastly, heading over to the NFC side, we are going to go over those. So number 7 seed goes to the Washington Commanders. I don't have them winning the division, relax, but I do think that they're going to do well. I have the Commanders at 9-8. Jaden Daniels looked very well, and that was one of the guys I was hoping if we traded up in the Minnesota, as the Minnesota Vikings traded up, if we did that, then I would want, despite them rumoring to want Drake May, I would prefer them to trade up for Jaden Daniels just because the way he moved was crazy good. I like the way he runs. I like the way he throws. He's a very good quarterback, and I think he is going to shine possibly better than some of these other rookie quarterbacks this season. So give me Jaden Daniels there. Make it into the playoffs. I'll take that. 9-8, and they have, let's see, the Commanders have just right in the green, like right mid of the strength of schedule. So there's some, I only have them with one win after the bye week in week 14, just because they face the Saints, the Eagles, the Falcons, the Cowboys. But I do have them winning 8 of their games in the beginning, so going 8-5 before the bye week is pretty good. Yeah, and it's a team that I feel like people are going to sleep on, and I think that they're going to do a very good job. Didn't they just pick up somebody too? Hold on, let me see. Commanders. They signed, Noah Brown. So they signed Noah Brown to the Commanders. Commanders already had Scary Terry. They have Zacchaeus and Luke McCaffrey. I think that Noah Brown is a great pickup. He did well in the Texans. Former Brown as well? No, for Cowboy. Noah Brown is going to do great on the Commanders. I think he's going to be one of those sneaky pickups as well for fantasy. He'll probably be number 4 or 5 receiver to pick up in fantasy. But Commanders going 7th. 7th seed in the playoffs. 6th seed goes to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I'm never high on the Arizona Cardinals, but I think what makes a huge difference this season is the adding of Harrison Smith. Was it Harrison? Yeah, Harrison Smith Jr. Am I wrong? Yeah, Marvin Harrison. Harrison Smith is our safety. Marvin Smith Jr. is a great pickup for the Cardinals, and I think that will be the deciding factor for that'll be the deciding factor for the Cardinals to make it to the playoffs. Even though it is just 9-8, they still make it to the playoffs here due to tiebreakers. So Marvin Harrison Jr., they have Michael Wilson, they have Zay Jones. Not the best wide receiver room, but Marvin Harrison Jr. does a lot to elevate that itself, so they're going to be able to move forward with that. James Conner, good running back. They also picked up Trey Benson. I believe Trey Benson was drafted. Let me see. Yeah, Trey Benson was drafted by the Cardinals in the 3rd round, so they have another guy to I guess battle with James Conner, or at least help him back him up. That's the only reason why I have them go to this it's not the Super Bowl, the playoffs. Going 9-8, they have 3 wins after the bye week in week 11, and they have 6 wins before the bye week, enough to get them to the playoffs. Number 5 seed in the NFC goes to the LA Rams. Yeah, 10-7. They go 10-7 with 3 wins before the bye week in week 6, and then they go with 7 wins post bye. So with the Rams, I'm always high on the Rams. Kyron Williams is a great running back. He showed up and he did very well for my fantasy. So shout out to Kyron Williams. But they were able to also pick up. They drafted, what's his name? Blake Corum, good running back. They still have Cooper Kupp. They still have Puka Nacua, who's shining so much so that he might be number 1. And they have a backup in Jimmy Garoppolo. Not happy about that. That's nothing to write about because Matthew Stafford, but as long as he stays healthy. Higbee also a little banged up. I think he's starting an IR, so might be not the best position for them. However, it's just a great wide receiver room. They picked up also who was the defensive edge who's going to replace Aaron Donald. It was Chop Robinson. Was it Chop or was it the other guy? The other Robinson. LA Rams draft. They picked up. What is their name? Jared Verse. They picked up Jared Verse. So they have another guy on the defense to help them continue to win. So Rams here at number 5, making the playoffs, just outside of winning the division. According here. Number 4, just eking in, tripping into the playoffs just because they have to. With a record of 8-9 is the Atlanta Falcons. You know, we have Kirk Cousins here, brand new team. Kirk Cousins coming to a horrible division to make it to the playoffs, stealing all the money from the Falcons, and the Falcons giving him a big FU by drafting Michael Penix Jr., despite him not wanting to be on a team that isn't going to commit to him forever and give him all the money forever, guaranteed. You know, we have the Falcons here just slightly getting in with 5 wins before the bye week at week 12 and then 3 wins after. Falcons, I think, have, the easiest schedule. So it is something that, even though they didn't win all the games, they were still able to trip into the end zone for the division. So they go 4th. Third seed in the NFC is the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles going 10-7. I have them beating the Cowboys. Beating the Cowboys. Like I said, Cowboys are going 4th. Eagles going 1st. I have them winning and continuing on the tradition of, hey, whoever won last year is not winning again this year. No back-to-back champions of the East. So we're going to continue that trend here. I have them winning all 4 games before the bye and then winning 6 games after the bye. So not the best post. They're going 6-7 after starting 4-0, but they are still a good team. They did lose Kelsey, but you know, their team is still a very good team. They picked up Saquon Barkley, which is going to improve the run game a lot more than it was before. They might not do the tush push, but they have Saquon Barkley to make up for it. A.J. Brown's still there, Devontae Smith, and they had just picked up Jahan Dotson. They traded for him from the Commanders, so it's a great wide receiver 3 to put in that room as well. Maybe a wide receiver 2B to Devontae's 2A, and Dallas Goedert still a great tight end. So Eagles, not much to stay. They're good. So they're going to be number 3. Number 2, the second seed goes to the Detroit Lions with a record of 12-5. I'm high on the Lions. They've always been a little brother to me on the Vikings, and it's good to see them succeed. It sucks to see them succeed, but hey, good for them. They have a really good team. Great wide receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown. Great running back in Jahmyr Gibbs. Great tight end in Sam Laporta. They also have Jamison Wilson, who, as long as he doesn't gamble, he's good to play. Khalif Raymond is still on the team as well. And they have David Montgomery that they picked up formerly from the Bears. Great running back as well to really help solidify that room to be a two-headed monster if need be. So Jared Goff continuing to prove that he's a good quarterback, that the Rams kind of messed up on getting rid of him, but Rams are also fine with what I lose my train of thought there. What's your name? Matthew Stafford. He's still proving to be a good quarterback, and it's kind of like revenge after revenge after revenge. And they start off with a revenge game versus the Rams, so that's going to be pretty interesting as well to see. That is going to be a Sunday night game, so very interesting, very fun, very cool. Lions with the number 2 seed, which means the number 1 seed belongs to the San Francisco 49ers, going 12-5 as well. I have it really interesting. They are going to lose only 3 games before and 2 games after. They lose the last game because I do believe when the Niners face the Lions, I have them beating the Lions week 17, which means that they lock in the division. They lock the number. They lock the number 1 seed regardless of if they lose the next one. So they just sit all their starters, and the Cardinals get an extra win, which in return gets them to the playoffs. So it's a pretty interesting story there. But I do have the 49ers in and with the number 1 seed. So they only lose to the Rams, the Cardinals, the Chiefs, and the Seahawks, and the Cardinals again, because it's not easy going up against a division rival, no matter who it is. And then the last one, they just end up getting swept by the Cardinals because they just sat their starters. And they didn't need to play them. So yeah, which puts the Niners at 1. So once again, this is the order of the 2025 playoff picture. At number 1, it is the 49ers. Number 2, the Lions. Number 3, the Eagles. Number 4, the Falcons. Number 5, the Rams. Number 6, the Cardinals. And number 7, the Commanders. So wild card round looks like this: Commanders at Lions, Cardinals at Eagles, and then Rams at Falcons. I think it's pretty easy who wins here. Obviously, it's the Commanders, the Cardinals, and the Falcons. It's an easy win for them. Lions, Eagles, and Rams all get knocked out of the... I'm joking. Lions win, Eagles win, and Rams win on the road. There's no way the Falcons do anything better. Congratulations, Kirk Cousins. You made it to the playoffs on a cheap team. Hooray. But you're not going to win. You've only won 2 in your lifetime, possibly less, to my knowledge. But you're not going to win on the Falcons here. You're not going to continue to dominate in the postseason. So Lions win, Eagles win, Rams win. Let's get it. Then brings us to the divisional round. We have Rams at Niners and Eagles at Lions. I think it's going to be difficult for both the away teams. I have the Niners and the Lions winning. Niners, they traded with the Rams during the season, but they were able on a short week to beat the Rams at home more recently. So they end up getting the win over the Rams, especially because they're at home again. So the 49ers winning there. Eagles, I don't know, they're up and down sometimes in the playoffs. I just see the Lions as a stronger team. They also can lose. It could also be chaotic, but I just see in this case Lions beating the Eagles, which brings us to the NFC Championship. Lions at 49ers, and as much as I want to root for my little brother, I'm going to root for the 49ers to win over the Lions. So 49ers are able to make it back to the Super Bowl. 49ers just signed Brandon Ayuk to a 4-year deal, so there's no ill will there. There's no drama. He's staying with the team. Deebo Samuel is still there. Jawan Jennings is going to be 3, I believe. Christian McCaffrey is still Christian McCaffrey. Elijah Mitchell, I believe, is out for the season, so that changes. And they still have George Kittle as well. They picked up the GOAT of all GOATs, the Pastronaut, to be QB2 or 3 or whatever he is on the list. I don't know if he's still on the team, actually. That's a great question. Let me see. 49ers depth chart. Did he make the team? Yeah, he did. Okay, number 3. Yeah, he's quarterback 3. So, he was able to make it. So I have the 49ers making it to the Super Bowl once again. Back-to-back trips to the Super Bowl. This is the chance for 49ers to try to take the win now that they don't face their kryptonite in the Kansas City Chiefs. So before we go on to the winner of the Super Bowl of 2025, I will review the draft pick of all of the teams from the NFC side. So we have here at the number 19 pick, the Atlanta Falcons. Hopefully they pick another quarterback again, because that would be hilarious. I'll go over all of them until 31 and 32. 19 goes to the Atlanta Falcons, 20 goes to the Cincinnati Bengals, 21 to the Washington Commanders, 22 to the New York Jets, pick number 23 to the Buffalo Bills, number 24 to the Cardinals, 25 to the Philadelphia Eagles, 26 to the LA Rams, 27 to the LA Chargers. We have number 28 to the Baltimore Ravens, number 29 to the Kansas City Chiefs, and then we have number 30 to the Detroit Lions, which brings us to the final. The Super Bowl is a Super Bowl 2025. What is that? 50, 60, 59. Super Bowl 59. I have the Texans versus the 49ers. I think that this would be a great Super Bowl. I think this would be a gunslinging Super Bowl. Great defenses, great offenses. It might be a mixture of both. I think it'll start off very slow because the defense of both sides will be great, like really doing a good job to stop the offense. I think maybe we go into halftime with who's doing the halftime show? Actually, halftime show 2025. There's no guaranteed. Stop answering Pitbull. Great. Pitbull has a Super Bowl halftime. We don't know exactly who's doing the halftime show yet. It is rumored to be Miley Cyrus, but I don't know. We'll see. But before the halftime performance, I think it's going to end up being like a 10-7, if not like a 10-13. And then when the defenses get a little tired later in the game, that's when it starts to pick up even more, maybe midway through the third quarter, or definitely during the fourth quarter. That's what I can see happening. But I'm going to do a Hail Mary, just throw it out there. I am going to make sure I hold myself accountable with this, not only with the records, not only with the draft picks. I'm going to hold myself accountable. You heard it here, folks. I have the script of the Super Bowl, and I have the Houston Texans beating the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know the score. I don't know what happens where, but I think the Houston Texans, they win the Super Bowl. Stephon Diggs finally gets his ring. He can stop being a little drama queen. He can be happy where he is for once and be thankful that the Houston Texans were able to sign him. And he was able to win a ring with his old friend, Danielle Hunter. And they were able to go and win the Super Bowl. So I have the Houston Texans beating the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl 59 in 2025. Now, that is my prediction, my score prediction, my record prediction, my playoff predictions with a picture and exactly how the draft would look like in 2025. Let me know how wrong I am in the comments. You know, say it down there. Tell me, hey, you're horrible. That was a bad choice. Or, yo, that was the smartest thing you ever did. I definitely think the Texans are going to win. I think the Niners would be the Texans. Or, you're stupid. You're crazy. I think the Chiefs are going to win 3 in a row. Or if you're just insane and are the Cowboys and like, oh, this is our year. We're going to win. Then, you know, just let me know down in the comments. I know that you will. I'm holding myself accountable, so hopefully you can leave yourself accountable down in the comments. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Who do you think will win the divisions? Maybe who you think will make it to the playoffs? Who's going to have the number 1 overall pick? You just let me know whatever you want down below in the comment section down below. I said down below too many times, so go down below. Do it. Do it. Right now. Do it. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like this video if you liked it, and send it to somebody if you want to make them mad or make them happy if they're a Houston Texans fan. And you let me know what you think. And we're going to continue to do more streams every single Thursday. Starting this week, it's the, I guess, preseason of the next season. So season 2 of We Go Deep starts next week. We have the boys in studio reacting live to the Ravens, or was it Ravens at Chiefs? The Ravens at Chiefs game. Thursday Night Football. We're going to be reacting to it. I'm very pumped for it, so hopefully you guys are as well. We're going to be reacting and watching all the games on Thursdays, minus Thanksgiving. We'll probably move it to Black Friday for that one, but just stay tuned. We're gonna be here. Hopefully you're here. And yeah, that's all I have to say. That's all I have for you. I will see you guys next week at the start of season 2 of We Go Deep, and we're just gonna continue to go footballs deep in hot takes and give our reactions, maybe some live play-by-play commentary to keep things interesting and spicy as well, and we'll be able to get it going. So hopefully we'll see you guys next week. I love y'all. Be safe, and yeah, let's go. Football's back, baby. Football's back. We'll see you next week.